I'm Thorne Dickinson. I am excited about sharing with you authentic conversations from Mainers throughout the state about the value this project delivers. This week on Clearing the Air, we're taking a look back at the highlights of our second season as 2020 comes to an end. Our focus has been on talking about the benefits the Clean Energy Corridor will bring to Maine and introducing you to some of the Mainers working on the project. Meet Sean, Joe, David, Nick, and Rob.
I feel great. Prior to working for Avangrid and on this project, I worked for one of the largest utilities, and I've never, multi-states, multi-operating companies. Up here in Maine, I've never seen the detail. It is 1,000% what they go about and how they're doing things, and I feel wonderful about the project.
It's good to take some of the planning we've been doing for the last 3-4 years and kind of see some of it come into fruition and solidifying some of the pieces. And for me, more importantly, I think, is being here in the area and able to start knocking on doors and talking to individuals with property, individuals with buildings, places that we can rent for yard space and office space, and stopping into the local stores as we're grabbing lunch.
The goal is going to be manage the structure along the right of way. In that, it's going to be more aesthetically pleasing. It'll have less of a footprint overall, and I think it'll benefit wildlife species and soil. It'll help the soil as well. And water resources, and the whole gamut.
And the contractors understand how important it is to us to hire Maine labor and use Maine resources. So it's important to them as well because of that.
Now we have a few challenges on board here in the next, that you're dealing with today. But in your mind, what are the biggest challenges you have in front of you here?
For me personally, I think this meeting today is actually setting us up for satisfying the biggest challenge, and the biggest challenge is the conditions from the MDEP permit. We have multiple zones where we go from vegetation tapering to 35-foot vegetation height to 75-foot vegetation height, back down to 15 and back and forth. And so trying to meet that condition, I don't know of any project that's ever had a condition like that, and we have found a way.
I was working with a company, environmental construction, back then, and I had a little bit of a health scare. And I had cancer. I got diagnosed with colon cancer. It was kind of a long recovery after that ordeal. When I came out of that, I said, enough with waiting until later to do things. And getting up here to Maine and living here was always my dream. I had an opportunity many years ago to come up here and work. I didn't take it, so it was always the plan after that to really get here. My wife, she's been coming up her entire life, so we started talking even when we were dating that this was going to be a goal of mine, and she's like, absolutely. The timing couldn't have been better, so everything just works out.
We also gave you a first-hand look at the working forest the new 53-mile stretch of the corridor will run through, and discussed how important the logging industry is to Maine and our economy.
It is a vast forest, and it's a working forest, and thousands of people's livelihoods depend on it. Maine's economy depends upon it. It is still one of the largest industries in the state, and it is because of responsible landowners and good stewardship and sound, sustainable forestry that we're able to enjoy this forest. It is far from pristine. This is a logging road. You can see way off into the distance even where there's logging roads. And you can see very diverse forest. You can see areas that have younger trees that are growing, more mature trees over here. Again, active logging road. See there's a clear cut and healthy forest around it, good buffers for wildlife and for other uses. This is an area that where they store those logs, and they'll take them off to the mill. And in the background you can see just a healthy forest. I see it as very compatible with a multiple use working forest, and I see it as a good thing for Maine.
My grandmother worked for a paper mill as well, so The paper mills are near and dear to my heart, and I will do pretty much anything I can to help them remain. As you know, we've lost 5 paper mills in this state over the last 10 years. I don't, the logging industry and all the other forestry industries that depend on the paper mills for their livelihood, we don't want to see that diminish. In fact, we'd like to see it grow.
The clean energy corridor was in the news quite a bit during season 2 of our show, and media interest peaked in 2 instances. First, when the Maine Supreme Court ruled the referendum on the corridor was unconstitutional, and second, when the Army Corps of Engineers approved the project. We also managed to have a little fun.
Hardest question first, just your reaction.
Yeah, well, the law court took a very careful review of the case in front of them and came to a very clear conclusion that this is not constitutional. Well, again, we believe this project is so important for Maine, and it comes along in a time when the state really needs it. So not only does it have the substantial environmental benefits, but it also has the economic benefits associated with 1,600 jobs, 18 million a year in property taxes, and 573 million in GDP, which all goes to the state in a time when it really needs an economic boost.
What's the significance of, this Army Corps permit?
Well, the Army Corps permit is the last major permit that we need actually to begin construction, so we're extremely excited now to begin moving forward. The goal is for everybody that's qualified here in Maine to work on the project, so that's a commitment we've made from the very beginning, and we're hoping that it's a big economic stimulus for the state, both on jobs and some of the other benefits of the project.
You are on speakerphone with Thorne Dickinson, Teddy Veripatis, and Johnny Mailer.
Oh my Lord, that's quite a crew.
I know it. It's a pretty shot.
Oh, good. Are you saying I'm handsome? The bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. All right.
He's a handsome man.
I'm always fishing for compliments.
So as an engineer, did you think that you would be the star of a YouTube show?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Thank you so much for joining this week. Next week, we're going to take a look at your questions. So go on our YouTube channel, add your questions, and I'll do my best to answer all of them next week on Clearing the Air.